What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Lockdown 23-1. Today we're going to be talking about the top 5 worst ways to enter into jail. You know, going to jail in itself is absolutely horrible, but there are a few things that can make your arrival much worse. Some of these things on the list I have personally experienced myself, and others I have seen people go through, and it looks very rough. I'm not going to put these in any kind of particular order, starting from the bottom to the top, and I'll let y'all determine. Maybe you can leave a comment in the comment section. Let me know which one you think might be the worst way to enter into jail. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. The first one on the list for me is having a cold or a flu, toothache, earache, something along those lines, man. Going into jail, first of all, jail has horrible medical service. Almost anything and everything that is wrong with you, they're just going to give you a little bit of aspirin. You know what I mean? Toothaches, man, I'll tell you what. If you got a toothache, don't go to dentist, because all they're going to do is pull it. That's what they do. You got a tooth problem, they pull it. That's all there is to it. I've had a tooth pulled in prison one time. Top molar. Wasn't that bad, actually. They did a pretty decent job. But, it probably could have been saved if I was out here in the streets. Probably just could have had a root canal or something. But no. We're pulling it. That's what they do. Their teeth pulling game is on 100. Now, if you got a cold or the flu, man, that is horrible. I've done that before. I went into jail. I had a cough. I had a cough where I couldn't stop. I'm talking about just every 3 seconds I would cough and cough and then cough and cough. And I remember my cellmate. He was like, I could tell he was looking at me like, God, he had this little mask over his face so that he didn't get sick. He had a t-shirt tied around his face. And, I was apologizing because I was, kind of a veteran in the lockup game. And I kind of knew how, disrespectful it kind of was to be coughing all over the place in the man's cell. And I just was getting there for the very first time. And I kept apologizing to him, not out of fear or anything, but out of respect. You know what I mean? I was like, look, bro, that was one of the first things I told him when I walked in. I said, I got a really bad cold. I don't mean to be coughing a lot, but I just can't stop. They brought me cough suppressant, but it didn't really work at all. You know what I mean? It was like 2 days that I was just coughing and coughing and coughing. And it was horrible, man. Hearing the echo all through. I'm talking about all throughout the night I was coughing. Everyone in the whole cell block was probably like, God, shut them up. So yeah, man, coughing with the flu, cold, anything like that, man, that is one of the worst ways to enter into jail. Next up on the list is going into jail without an address book or phone numbers, okay? I don't think y'all understand how important it is to have people's addresses and phone numbers. Once you go to jail, you will learn to keep an address book. Just in case of emergencies, you'll rip that freaking address book right out your wallet, rip out the page with the main addresses and phone numbers, and that's it. You'd be absolutely surprised that you don't know anybody's numbers without your cell phone handy. And that is something very valuable in jail. You need to know people's numbers and information so you can contact them and let them know exactly what the hell is going on. Let them know you need some freaking ramen noodles, you know what I mean? And if you don't have no numbers, man, it's going to be hell and high water for you to get them things. Next is coming into jail with a freaking black eye. Man, I remember this one guy came into jail with a black eye. It was a black eye and a swole cheek. And he said after we got the story from him, after a few days of him being in the block, we got the story from him. He said that he got attacked by the police and a police dog. We were like, dang, bro, we thought you got, everyone, if you go into jail for the first time and you got a huge black eye or shiner, everyone's going to immediately think you're weak, you got beat up by someone else in some other block. They're not going to think you came out the streets with a black eye. They're going to think you came from a whole other block and just got beat up. You know what I mean? That is another horrible thing to walk into jail with is a black eye. Next is withdrawals. I've never experienced this except for with cigarettes and coffee and marijuana. But I don't think that's really considered withdrawals. But people, man, for real, I have seen some people crap and piss all over themselves going through heroin withdrawals or alcohol withdrawals is probably the worst one that I've seen, okay? Believe it or not, people that do heroin, they think that their drug is the worst. But in all actuality, look, don't you go saying that to no alcoholic. Because for real, if I did my research correctly in the past, alcohol, okay, withdrawals, is one of the only withdrawals that will literally kill you, okay, if you don't drink, if you go straight cold turkey. Alcohol is vicious, you know what I mean? But dope is too. I've seen people go through it, and it's very weird. In jail, it seems like everyone that goes through these withdrawals, after they're done going through withdrawals or during it, the only thing that they can eat is like candy bars and Jolly Ranchers. They won't eat their trays at all. They'll just want candy and stuff. It's weird, man. I've never understood that. Maybe someone out there that does or has done dope can tell me exactly why the freaking heck everybody wants candy when they get locked up going through withdrawals. You know what I mean? It's weird. I always hook them up with a little something, you know. Next, I have definitely experienced this one, okay? And it is absolutely horrible. You don't, you know, sometimes I watch that show like Cops or Live PD, and I see them arrest someone and they're like, they have no shoes on. They arrest them straight out of bed. And they don't even let them put their shoes or t-shirt on. They're going in that jank in some freaking PJ bottoms. And I'm like, Lord, he's about to go through hell going into jail in them janks. You know what I mean? Because when you go to jail, 99% of jails are absolutely freezing. It's like an ice box, okay? And if you don't have a shirt, shoes, or socks, you are going to probably die of hypothermia, my friends. I remember one time I went to jail and I didn't have no whites. I didn't even have no white boxers. So literally all I had was the jumper that they gave me. And it was so cold that, thank God, that and this never happens, okay? When you go into a holding tank in jail, as soon as you come into jail, after you dress out, you go into a holding tank, there's usually never any toilet paper in it whatsoever. None, okay? You gotta beg for toilet paper if you gotta take a dump. But this occasion, it was like the good Lord was looking out after me, man. I was freezing, okay? And there was a roll of toilet paper. First thing I did, I started wrapping myself up like a freaking mummy in my arms. And then I balled up a bunch of wet toilet paper and I threw it straight at the vent, okay? That's one of the first things you do if the freaking room is cold in your cell or something. You get some toilet paper, ball it up, get it wet, and sling it directly at the vent. Clog it up. You know, throw about 6 or 7 balls of toilet paper, and you'll be surprised that freaking toilet paper will turn into like concrete. You know what I mean? You might catch a charge because they don't really like that. It backs up their systems and all that when it comes to AC and intake. They get pissed, but hey, as soon as they tell me to take it down, I'll take it down. But I'm going to slap that puppy right back up as soon as they leave the block. You know what I mean? It gets cold in jail, all right? It's horrible. It makes people sleepy, it's just horrible, man. And if you go into jail and you have, that's why I said in my video, being prepared to go to jail or something along those lines. I always refer to another video that I made, and I can never remember the title. But it was like, how to be prepared to go to jail. And back in the day, when I was in and out of jail and penitentiary, I stayed with white boxers, I stayed with white socks, and I stayed with a white t-shirt. And if I wasn't wearing it, it'd be in the trunk of my car, just in case of emergency. I'd say, officer, can I get my whites? You know, because the jails that I've been in, most of them allow you to have whites. Now, if you don't have any white boxers on or white socks, they're going to take them. You're going to go into jail free balling, okay? And that is a horrible feeling in that jumper, where you have nothing else underneath of it. You know what I mean? And those socks, when you put on them freaking shower shoes they give you, your feet are going to sweat within the first 3 minutes and it's just going to start stinking. Those shower shoes are just built up with funk of 20 million other ex-inmates wearing them. You know, they can't wash those shower shoes. You know what I mean? They have to just give them to you. And that's another thing, man. You always want to wash your shower shoes as soon as you get into the block, because who knows how many other feet have been on that. Get some disinfectant spray from the CO or something and spray them puppies down, scrub them, you know. Those are your shoes now. You don't want none of those foot fungus from any other guys that have been wearing it before you. But yeah, man, no whites, no boxers, no socks. That is one of the worst ways to enter into jail. Always be prepared, my friends. Always be prepared. Now another one. This one wasn't on the list, but I was thinking about it when I was telling another story, and that is going into jail and you didn't check your freaking pockets, okay? Sometimes officers do not search you that well. And they will ask you, okay, they will literally ask you, do you have anything else in your pockets? Because once it goes beyond this point, it's going to become a federal charge. And usually, sometimes it's a bluff. But let's say you're carrying in, an 8-ball powder and you had no idea. That's going to be a Fed charge, my friend. Because he asked you, he warned you, and then once you get in there and they search you down even better, the jail COs are going to search you even better than the police did. If they find it, it's not up to the cop no more. He warned you. They're gonna oil you up. I remember this one guy, I was actually in booking and this guy got caught with a little bit of crack. He had some crack in his pocket. And he said the craziest story to the police. I was overhearing it. He said, I just got these pants from Salvation Army, man. I swear to God it ain't mine. I just got these from Salvation Army. And they're like, well, you have to tell it to the judge, man. You know what I mean? And it is what it is. He should have searched his pockets. He should have known that was in there. And I'm sure he didn't get it from the little Salvation Army. But at the same time, I'm sure he didn't know it was in there either. He would have taken that crap out. But yeah, man, always check your pockets before you go to jail. You never know what's in it. You don't want any more charges than you already have. And that's about it that I can think of offhand, all right? Some of the worst ways to enter into jail, having a code, withdrawals, not having phone numbers, addresses, whatever the case may be. No whites. That is horrible. I'll never forget it. I've went into jail at least 2 times with no whites, and it was hell, man. You gotta wait like 3 weeks before you can even get your stuff ordered. You usually come in and you have to get all your numbers and money situated, and that takes about a week. And then you have to order it, and then it'll take another week. And so you're free balling for 2.5, maybe 3 weeks. You know what I mean? That's the worst, man. Absolute worst. That steel gets so cold, my friends. And of course, going in with a black eye, man. And there's another thing, man. If you're going to jail and you know it, maybe you were going to court, don't go to court looking raspy as hell, man. Okay? Believe it or not, let's say you go from the streets into jail and you just look rough, hair is screwed up, you haven't had an edge up in years, hair is messed up. People are going to joke you, man. You know what I mean? You'll have a much easier time going into jail if you got a nice clean cut and you look like you're actually keeping yourself upkept out there in the streets. If not, people are going to look at you, inmates judge people too. I've seen people come in and they weren't even addicted to drugs or anything, but just because they look really rough and beat down and run down, that people would joke them, man. And joking turns into something else. Oh, another thing, man. This list is actually growing as we go. You know what I mean? But those are the top 5 in my eyes. But this is another thing that is it could be very dangerous, and I've experienced this firsthand. Going into a block and you see an enemy. Okay, the first block they put you in population, you see an enemy. That's right. I'll never forget it. I went into this block, man, and in Chesapeake City Jail in the pods where they're high security, it'll be a pod. It's crazy how they have it set up. It'll be a big octagon pod with 2 floors, all in one pod, and it's a big open area, okay? And then they have a glass wall that has a gym, okay? And then another glass wall to another pod, another block, and you can see straight through the gym straight to the other pod. And I remember I went into the block for the first time, and the other pod had the gym. So if they're in the gym, they can come up to the glass and you can see everyone in the other pod. You see gangbangers throwing up signs and everything from glass to glass. And I remember I saw a homeboy that I shanked up on the streets that sent me to the penitentiary, man. I ran down them freaking flight of stairs and I was freaking talking to him just like this through the crack. I was like, homeboy, if I get over there, you know what time it is, man. We were talking like civilized human beings because we didn't want to bring no, heat to the block or anything like that or get anyone locked up. We didn't want to get locked up, but we were pretty much talking trash to each other through the crack of the door like this. We weren't screaming or nothing like, yo, yo, yo. I'm not going to say the words that we were saying to each other, but they were vicious. You know what I mean? It's weird saying vicious words to your enemy quiet and humbly. You know what I mean? It's a little strange. You can't really take the other person serious because you can't really show no expressions or emotion, or else the police are gonna catch wind to it. But yeah, I saw that dude through the glass, and I was like, man, a whole bunch of emotions came running through me, man. I was ready to get it in. You know, I was ready. You know, it is what it is. Anyways, I hope y'all enjoyed the top 5 worst ways to enter into jail. And actually, I believe I named about 7. But always remember, man, you got to be prepared. If you're not prepared, if you are out there in the streets, you have to be prepared. You know what I mean? Mentally and physically. If you are doing dirt out there in them streets, you better have some whites on at least. Go freaking buy some white boxers and a white undershirt and some white socks, because you never know what the freak is going to happen to you, man. Alright? Please listen to me. If you're out there grinding, go get yourself a white outfit. That's all I'm going to say. And until the next time, I want to thank and salute every last one of y'all who have been supporting me through this journey. Do not forget to check the links in the description of the video. Go buy yourself some merchandise. Add me on Twitch, Twitter, Instagram. Check out the Patreon. All that good stuff. And also, I know I've seen a lot of people saying that they liked my outro in some of my old videos. So this one's for y'all.